Yeah, so I yesterday explained to you people about object-oriented programming, and we solved the question paper also. There are two questions that we were not able to solve because we are yet to finish that syllabus, and that syllabus is the syllabus of polymorphism and inheritance. What is polymorphism? I said yesterday. In fact, I wrote one program also which did not execute, which gave an error. It said that there are two functions with the same name and all that. It cannot execute, and that program I will share it with you. That program that we had written was this one for multiple one program of Python, one class of Python having multiple functions. That program was that. And when I executed, it gave an error. Okay, it gave an error. It gave an error because it is not possible. In Python, remember yesterday I did a little survey after the class. If I have a class like this, let us say I want to write a class. Okay, let us say I want to write a class. My class like this. Let us say I have a class like this. Okay, okay. I hope you're able to see my screen. So here, let us say my class contains two functions: add with one parameter and add with two parameters. Where other programming languages like C++, Java, C Sharp, you take any programming language object oriented, they will support this. And this is how they do polymorphism. One function acting differently when different number of parameters are passed to it. But Python does not support this. Python does not support this. In fact, I was surprised. I thought that Python would support, but it does not support this. How did I come to know that? After the class yesterday, I did a little survey on the internet, and this is what I found. This is what I found. See, you can see that I was reading it from the internet, and this is Python method overloading. Like other languages do, for example, C++, Python does not support method overloading. Method overloading is nothing but this concept. You know what is polymorphism in other programming languages? When they allow the concept of method overloading. Remember, it is method overloading. Method overriding is different. Method overriding is the concept where the derived class defines the same function which is present in the base class that I will come to later on. But if your class contains two functions with the same name and different parameters, this is called as polymorphism, and it is also called as, in other words, method overloading. Method overloading, remember, I was surprised yesterday when I saw this, like other programming languages do. Python does not support method overloading. We may overload the method, but can only use the latest definition. What he says is I can have a function. I can have a function like this product function. Okay, def. I define a function called as product which takes two parameters a and b, and then I will do something here. P is equals to a star b, and then I can print p the product. Then in the same class I can have one more. In the same class I can have one more function. Okay, define def product a b c, and now product is equals to a star b star c print p. I can have these two type of functions, but when I call the function, I have to call the function like this only, product 4 comma 5 comma 5, because the latest function that is declared will be utilized, in the sense that will be effective. The previous one will not be. If you try to call the function like this, product 4 comma 5, it will give an error. It will give an error. If you think that product 4 comma 5 will call this function here, but it will not. It will not call that function. This particular statement will give you an error saying that this function requires three parameters and you have passed only two. We have seen this yesterday. If you remember yesterday's program, you saw that when I call the function by passing, and they have written here a function called as product. I had written a function called as add there yesterday. If you remember, two parameters and three parameters. When I passed two parameters to it, it gave an error saying that a third parameter is required. But if you don't call the function like this, if you call it like this, product 4 comma 5 comma 5, then remember it will execute no problem. But it still does not support method overloading. I cannot have two functions with the same name with different parameters. Python does not support polymorphism through method overloading. Polymorphism is there in Python. Remember, polymorphism is there, but not through method overloading, not like this. Like this, it is not possible. Okay. So then how it is possible? How in Python it is possible to overload methods? Okay, how can we overload methods in Python? This is not possible. Method overloading in Python is possible through the concept of inheritance. Through the concept of inheritance, where there is a base class and then there is a derived class. There is a base class and then there is a derived class. The base class will have a method. The derived class will also have a method with the same name, same parameter list, but they do two different things. I will show you an example. Now, what I am showing to you people is inheritance, polymorphism. Okay, how do we achieve polymorphism through inheritance? Just have a look at this program first. I will type the program and then later I will explain it to you. PolyINH is the name I give to the program. PolyINH, polymorphism in inheritance, something like that. Same. Okay. Now let us say I have a class called as test. Okay, or else I will call it as B. Okay, I'll call it as B, and then I will define a function here called as let us say disp. Okay, B is the base class, and then I write this. Now remember, this base class is a simple class. It is not inheriting from any other class. It's a basic. It's a simple class. And then what do I write in this disp function? Let's say it does not even take any parameters. I simply write print from B class. Okay. So whenever I call this function disp, you can see that it is calling from the base class. Whenever I call this function disp, it displays me from base class. Okay, now remember this disp function is declared in the B class. Okay, now what I will do is I will even define one more function called as let's say something called as basic. Okay, some function name. The name of the function is basic. This also will not take any parameters. And then it simply displays me a message whenever somebody calls this function basic. Whenever somebody calls this function basic, what it does is it will simply display a message. It will print a message, basic function of base class. Something simple. What I'm trying to do, something is different. Okay. So I have a base class called as B. It contains two functions, disp, and it contains one more function called as basic. Okay. Now remember the names of the functions and what they do. Now I define one more class. Called as D1. I define one more class called as D1, which inherits B. I will remove this. It's not required. Okay. Now I define one more class called as D1, which inherits B. So what is the concept of inheritance? The concept of inheritance is you can define a new class, and you can say that this new class inherits another class. Now this new class D1 acquires all the properties of the old class or the base class. So now in our case D1 is the new class, derived class. It is inheriting whose properties? B's properties. Who is B? B is the already existing class here, B. So I say class D1 extend B. Class D1 extends. We don't say extends actually. In other programming languages, we write it like that. No, we write class D1 extends B. In some programming languages like C++, what we do, we write class D1, we put a colon there, and then after that we write the base class and all that. But here the syntax in Python is different. Inheritance is done like this. We write class followed by the name of the class. Into parentheses, we write the class that it is inheriting. So I define a new class that is D1, and it is inheriting from B. All the properties of B are now properties of D1. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so what I do here is I define Okay, so what you saw here in this new class, D1, in this new class D1, I declared one function called as D1 basic. You can see that's this function here. D underscore basic is the function that I declared. Okay, D1 basic. And then I write print basic function of D1, basic function of D1. Basic function of base class I write here. From B class is the this function I wrote there. Okay, I'm just teaching you exactly how to do inheritance in a Python programming language. Then later I will go for polymorphism, how to do polymorphism in inheritance. If they ask me in examination, explain what is the concept of inheritance and polymorphism, then you have to explain this particular thing. Okay, so you have to say print basic function of D1 is the function which will display, and the name of that function is D1 basic. Will display this function, this message to you, basic function of D1. Okay, now in the main program here, what I do first is I create an object of B. B is equals to, what does that mean? B is equals to B. It means that B, small b, is an object of the B class. This is how we create now. Like how we were creating, remember we were creating P is equals to point. What we were doing, we were creating an object P of which class? The point class. So like that, what I have done here is I created an object small b of which class? The B class, the base class, which is over there. Okay. Now, if I do B dot disk, so the object B is calling which function? The disk function. What will it display? It should display from B class. It should definitely display from B class. Is it not? Let us try this. File, save. I saved it. What is the name of the program? Poly inheritance. Okay, no problem. So I go there. I go to polyinheritance.py, and then okay, so it is saying that there is a problem. Why? Because you remember that we have to always pass this self. If there is no parameter also, we have to pass here self. So I saved it. I go here. I clear the screen. Now I executed the program. You can see that it displays me from B class. Why? Because b.disk from B class. So this function was called. This function was called. Okay. Now see what I do. I call the other function, basic function. So b.basic function I call b.basic. So I'm calling the function basic through the object of the B class. So what will it display? It should display basic function of the base class. Okay. So I save this program. I go to the command prompt. I executed the program, and then you can see the output as from B class, which is from b.disk, and basic function of the base class from b.basic. So you can see that. Okay. Now let us do polymorphism through inheritance. What I do now is I create an object of D1 class. I call it as D small d. I call it as small d, which is equals to small d is equals to D1. D1 is the class, and then I write D1 dot. I say D1 dot D1 basic. So now what I'm trying to do is I created an object of D1. I created an object of D1. D is equals to D1 like this, and then sorry, not D1. D dot D1 basic. So I called this function, D1 basic function, I called through which object? The object. Okay. So there is no harm. I save this program. I save the program. Now I go here, I execute the program. You can see from base B class, which is because of b.disk, basic function of base class because of b.basic, basic function of D1 because of D1. So I am creating an object of B calling these two functions, creating an object of D1 calling this function. Simple. Now see what I do. Okay. I define in the derived class, in the D1 class, a function called as disp. Okay, called as disp. Before actually I define this function here, I define a function here, now you will have to tell me if it is possible to call d dot disp. Look at this program entirely. I'm calling the function d dot disp. Is this function disp present in d1? This function is not present in d1. Will it be possible for me to call the object through the object of d1 the function disp? Yes, I should be able to call. Why? Because the disp function is present in the base class and d1 is inheriting d class. So now if I call the disp function through d, it should execute. Okay, so I'll save this file, save, and then I'll go here and I'll execute the program. So you can see here that b.disp will display me from b class. d.basic is this function. If you display basic function on the base class, then I create an object of d1. d.d1 basic is a function of the d1 class only, so it is possible to call that function, no problem. Basic function of d1, no problem. And then I call d.disp. I'm calling disp function, which is of the base class, through the object of the derived class. So d.disp, it still displayed me from b class. This is obvious, you all know this. It is possible to invoke the base class functions through the derived class object. I can call the base class functions through the derived class object. So d is an object of derived class, and through that d object, if I'm able to call basic, there is no problem. I mean, it is the concept of inheritance. d1 has acquired all the properties of b class because it has extended that. It has inherited that. Okay. So now what I will do, have a look at this. I want to define the same function. I want to define the same function which was there previously present in the base class. This was present in the base class. I want to give a new definition to it. I want to define a new function which does something different, not the same thing which this function in the base class is doing. I say print from d1 class override, something like that I have displayed. The disp function of the base class is displaying what? From b class. The disp function of the derived class is doing what? It is displaying from d1 class overriding. Okay, let us file, save. This let it be like that only. Okay, so I save the program, I go here, and then I execute the program. Okay, I forgot to put self here. Save the program. I clear the screen. I'll execute the program. Now you see what happens. From b class is the result of which function here? b.disp. From b class is the result of b.disp. So when I invoke the disp function, using the object of the base class, it will definitely call this function only. So from b class is getting displayed. Then I do b.basic. b.basic is, of course, this function will be called, so it displays the basic function of the base class. So you can see the basic function of the base class is getting displayed. Then I create an object of d1, and then I invoke d1 basic function. This is the d1 basic function. So then it will display me basic function of d1. And then this is where there is a twist. When I invoke the disp function through the object of the derived class, it calls the function of the derived class disp. It will not call the base class function. Previously, what I did when this was not there, when this function was not there, which function did it call? It called the function of the base class. It called the function of the base class. This function it called through d only. But now when I say d.disp, it calls the function of the derived class because I have overridden that function in the derived class. There was already a body to the function in the base class. I have given it a new body. I have written a new implementation to the function here in the derived class. So when I invoke the disp function through the derived class object, it will call the overridden function. So you can see from d1 class overridden. This is how we achieve polymorphism through inheritance. two different functions. The name of the functions are same, disk and disk. But when you invoke it through the object of the base class, it calls the base class function. And when you invoke the same function through the derived class, it will call the derived class function. So you can see when I invoke b.disk, it calls the base class function. And when I call d.disk, it calls the derived class function. Both the names of the functions are same, but it is calling two different functions. Now this is very important to remember, and this is how we say that there are two different functions with the same name doing two different activities. Here it is distinct from base class, but here it is distinct from D1 class, overridden. Here I'm just writing only simple different implementations. I'm just displaying some simple text, but I can write some implementation there. I can write some code there. I can write some very big code there. So when the disk function is called through the base class, that code will get executed. And when I call the disk function through the derived class, some other part of code will get executed. Some other code will get executed. Okay. So same function disk performing two different actions. This is polymorphism through inheritance. I'm sure, I mean, you have understood this concept. Okay. So you can take a screenshot of this. I have displayed the output also, and then the program also completely. You take a screenshot of this, and then you can go through this program later on. Okay. Now that you have understood this concept, now let me explain to you what is the meaning of multiple inheritance and what is the meaning of multiple inheritance and multi-level inheritance. This is another question that was asked in the examination. If you remember, they had asked like explain multiple inheritance and multi-level inheritance. They have asked in one of the questions. We will go back to the question paper later on. First, I will explain to you the concept. Okay. Now, look at this. What you see here is a simple inheritance example. In this example here, what you see is a simple inheritance example where I have a base class and then I have a derived class. And then this also this also shows the example of method overriding. There was already a function present here called as disk. I am overriding the function in the derived class. So this is an example of method overriding also and simple inheritance also. Now I will explain to you people. I think I have already that program is there with me. Poly inheritance is one. This is that exam program. First program to find the area, perimeter, and all that. I believe. These are the exam programs. Okay, don't worry. So I'll do one thing. I'll start from here. Okay. For save as model pool multi-inheritance.py. Okay, multi-inheritance.py. So I define what I'm explaining to you right now is a multiple inheritance. What is the meaning of multiple inheritance? Multiple inheritance is a concept of where one class acquires the properties of two other classes at the same time. Multiple inheritance is it acquires the properties at the same time. It acquires the properties of two different classes. Look at this example. Okay, so let us say I have a class called as B. I have a class called as B. Okay, or I'll call it as B1, base one, and then I've defined a function here called as okay, so simple enough. I have D2. Here also, let us say I have this. Let us say this is disk 1 and this is disk 2. And then here I say print okay, so what do we have here? We have two classes, B1 and B2. B1 has got its own function called as disk1. B2 has got its own function called as disk2. All that. And now I want to define a class B, which which inherits both the classes B1 and B2. So I can write B1 comma B2 like this. I can write D into bracket B1 comma B2. You know what is the meaning of this? The meaning of this statement here is that I'm creating a new class D, which is inheriting the properties of both B1 and B2. Now I don't write anything much here. I just write pass. Nothing is there. Nothing is there in this D function. Now if I say create an object of D, if I say create an object D dot this one and D dot this two. So I'm creating an object of D, which is this class, which has inherited B1 and B2. Through this object, I'm able to invoke this one also, which is the function of B1, and this two also, which is a function of B2. Okay. If D has acquired the properties of both B1 and B2, then these two functions I should be able to call. So I will save this program. Last 10 minutes remaining. Okay, I'll save this program. File, save, and then I go to the command prompt, and then I want to execute this program. What is the name of this program? It is multiple underscore inheritance. So Python multiple, let's see, Python multiple inheritance.py, enter, and then you can see that I'm able to call both the functions, hello from B1, hello from B2. So I'm able to call this one also and this two also through D, because D is an object of the D, which is deriving, which is extending both B1 and B2. So what do we learn from this? We learned that it is possible to do multiple inheritance in Python. Multiple inheritance is possible. Okay, so I can create one class, derived class, which is inheriting the properties of multiple classes, B1, B2, B3, like that. Any number of classes I can specify in the parenthesis. So now the new class will acquire the properties of all the classes, which is written in the bracket. So multiple inheritance is possible in Python. Remember that, multiple. If you remember, multiple inheritance is not supported in Java programming language. In Java, if you remember exactly the syntax, I will write the syntax here. Remember, do not get confused. I can define a class like this. You know, I can write class D extends, because in Java, how do we inherit? We write the extends function, no? We write the extends keyword. So class D extends B, but it is not possible to do something like this. Class D extends B, comma C, comma G. This is not possible in Java. Java does not support multiple inheritance. Remember, Java does not support multiple inheritance. Even C# does not support multiple inheritance. So what do we have there in programming languages like Java? If, let us say, you want one class which is acquiring the properties of two classes, what do? There, what we do is we do multi-level inheritance. We do there multi-level inheritance. What is multi-level inheritance? Okay, multi-level inheritance is like this. Now, in Python, this is possible. Class D into bracket B1 comma B2. Multiple inheritance is possible. Okay, if let us say multiple inheritance would not be possible in Python, then what we would have done is we would have done like this. Look at this. I just changed the program a little bit. First, class B1 was written simple. Class B was also written simple. Without this, it was written. They were two different classes. Now, what I do is I do like this. I change the B1 declaration. That is a simple base class containing one function called as this1. And then I declare this B2 class, which is inheriting B1 class. So now B2 is a derived class. It is acquiring all the properties of B1. So now B2 class has all the properties of B1 also and B2 also, self also. Display2 is also a property. Now when I do class D extends or inherits B2 is this one. Now internally you are saying that D has acquired the properties of B2 also. Now since B2 has acquired all the properties of B1, D has got all the properties of B1 also. D has acquired, as it is, you can see here, D into bracket B2 means it is extending B2. So B2's all properties are available for D. B2's all functions are available in D. And since B2 has inherited B1, D has inherited all the functions of B1 also. This is multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance. Remember that this is multi-level inheritance. B2 extends B1, D extends B2. So finally, in D, you have all these properties. This is called as multi-level inheritance. This is possible in Java. So in Java, you can have something like this. Look at this. So you can define a class called as B, then define one more class called as C, which extends B, and then define one more class which is D, which extends C. So finally, D will have all the properties of C also, and will have all the properties of B also. So this multi-level inheritance is possible in Java. I will remove this now from here, and let us execute this program and see file save. Okay, so this is an example of multi-level. I go to the command prompt and then I execute the program. You can see that there is no change in the program. It displays the same thing because I am able to call display one function through D and I'll be able to call display two function through D. Multi-level is possible. Multiple was also possible in Python. Multi-level is also possible in Python. The only thing you have to remember is that multiple is at the same point. You can do like that. Okay, so you can do. The only change you have to do is that's it. D extends B1 comma B2 or extend B2 with B1 and then here you extend only B2. Okay, so only one change I did here and then this became from multiple to multi-level. From multi-level to multiple, you saw that. So in the examination, they will ask you a question. Demonstrate with the help of an example program, some simple program like this display also is fine. Explain with the help of an example program the concept of multiple inheritance and multi-level inheritance. So you have to explain all this. Okay, so there are some 3 minutes remaining. If you have any questions, you please ask me. If there are no questions, you can say no questions and chat. Send a chat so that I'm acknowledged. I know that everybody is clear. Or any doubts you have, please remember. You have any doubts, you please ask me. No problem. Okay, because these concepts are very, very important. In your future, in your career, you are going to use object-oriented programming languages. These concepts has to be very, very clear. Okay, I have been doing programming for many years now, many years, and the concept of method overriding, polymorphism, inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, it has become so clear that I don't even see the syntax of that programming language. I directly write a program. So that's the reason why yesterday I wrote a program for polymorphism. I wrote two functions in the class with the same name by passing two different number of parameters. But it gave an error. It gave an error. I was confident that it would definitely work because I knew what is the meaning of method overloading or polymorphism is that only, and then I thought that Python would support it. So I typed the program. Then later I realized, no, I went to the, I took a screenshot of that web page so that I should not forget where is that, because I wanted to show it to you. And that is how your confidence level actually increases. So please remember that these concepts are very, very important. Multi-level, multiple. In the examinations, we will get these questions also. And so write the programs. I told you steps. Marks are there for the steps. Even if you don't know the logic of the program, please at least start writing the program so that you will get some marks there. Okay. So we have finished what is polymorphism. I first gave you an example of len function, len function. I gave you an example of len function can be used with strings. Len function can be used with lists. It gives me the list length, how many items are there in the list, and then it will give me how many characters are there in the string. So that also is an example of polymorphism. So if they ask you in simple terms, what is polymorphism in Python? Give an example. So you can give an example of len function. They will ask you what is polymorphism, and they will tell you demonstrate how polymorphism can be achieved through inheritance. So you have to give this example where there is a function called as disp in the base class, and in the derived class you give it a new body. You display this, you declare the same function disp and do something else there, display some other message. Okay, and then create an object of the base class, display call that function, create an object of the derived class and call that function, so you can demonstrate like that. Okay, so this is about polymorphism through inheritance and polymorphism through simple polymorphism. And then I explained to you what is the meaning of multiple inheritance and multi-level inheritance. So please remember this concept, very, very important in the examination. They will definitely ask this question: multiple inheritance and multi-level inheritance. Okay. So this is now the end of official end of the module number 4. There is one question in the examination about polymorphism and inheritance. I want you people to solve that question paper. Solve that question paper today. I have already sent you those question papers. Solve those. I will send the question papers once again. Solve those questions from those two things: inheritance and polymorphism. Any difficulties you have to ask me. Next class onwards, I am going to start with module number 5. I'm going to start with module number 5, socket programming, MySQL connectivity, all that. A lot of things are there in that module number 5. So I will be starting with module number 5 in the next class. Okay, so we'll stop here now. Have a good day, all of you. Please attend all the classes.